Ancient pyramids.
For thousands of years, it's been one of the world's great mysteries. Just how were the pyramids built so deep in the Egyptian desert?
The age-old question: how did the Egyptians build the pyramids?
Although the pyramids of historic Egypt are still status, how have been these big systems built via the ancients without the usage of current machinery? We are still amazed by their specific construction strategies. We're going into one among the biggest mysteries in records nowadays: how the Egyptian pyramids have been constructed. Let's recognize how these superb engineering achievements had been made heaps of years ago. The Great Pyramid of Giza is the largest pyramid ever built and is often considered the crown jewel of ancient Egypt. It was built 4,500 years ago for the Pharaoh Khufu and weighs an incredible 6 million tons. Consider this: huge chunks of limestone, more than 2 million carefully produced, move using cranes and other large equipment, and assembled without. How did the Egyptians achieve this feat? We need to examine it to understand their greater challenge. In addition to being huge, the stones used in the building weighed between 2 and 80 tons each. Think of the huge amount of work it takes to transport such huge boulders from remote quarries, lift them hundreds of feet into the air, and make sure everything aligns perfectly with the stars. And we can understand why this mystery has fascinated us for many years. The usage of ramps is central to one widely accepted idea. While some researchers think the builders built straight ramps, others propose spirals or even zigzag paths that circle the pyramid. These ramps are an interesting concept. In order to hold such massive stones, how long and steep would these ramps have to be? Perhaps workers hauled ore on sledges across the desert to move the stones. Picture the scene: hundreds of workers negotiating the burning hills as they pull together. One bizarre theory is that the sand was cooled to reduce friction, and those boulders would have been easier to move. But consider that building those ramps, which could have been as big as the pyramid, would have taken a lot of time, money, and people. Perhaps workers hauled ore on sledges across the desert to move the stones. Picture the scene: hundreds of workers negotiating the burning hills as they pull together. One bizarre theory is that the sand was cooled to reduce friction, and those boulders would have been easier to move. But consider that building those ramps, which could have been as big as the pyramid, would have taken a lot of time, money, and people. Let's also address a common misconception. Many believe the pyramids were built by slaves. However, historical evidence shows that skilled workers were the real creators of these monumental structures. Excavations have revealed entire workers' villages, featuring organized living spaces, plentiful food supplies, and even medical care. This strongly indicates that these laborers were respected and vital members of society. While the work was undoubtedly grueling, these workers were well fed and cared for, underscoring their significant role in the construction process. Imagine being part of a community engaged in one of human history's most monumental projects, knowing your work would last for centuries. Let's not forget the tools they used. The Egyptians were exceptionally skilled in geometry and engineering. They likely utilized simple but effective tools like chisels, sledges, and wooden rollers to manipulate the massive stones. Some theories even suggest they might have used water to lubricate the sled paths, making it easier to transport the blocks across the scorching sands. To put it into perspective, consider this: the Great Pyramid was the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years. Originally standing at 481 feet tall, it comprises approximately 2.3 million blocks. If you were to stack those blocks, they would reach higher into the sky than any building today. Isn't that astounding? As we stand in awe of these magnificent structures today, we can't help but ponder how ancient people achieved such greatness. The pyramids serve not only as tombs for pharaohs, but also as everlasting symbols of human ambition and ingenuity. So, what do you think? How were the pyramids really built? With so many theories and discoveries, we may never know all the answers, but that's what makes this mystery so captivating. We'd love to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this exploration of one of history's greatest mysteries, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and enable notifications for more fascinating topics like this one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time as we uncover more amazing stories from our past. Perhaps workers hauled ore on sledges across the desert to move the stones. Picture the scene. Hundreds of workers negotiating the burning hills as they pull together. One bizarre theory is that the sand was cooled to reduce friction, and those boulders would have been easier to move. But consider that building those ramps, which could have been as big as the pyramid, would have taken a lot of time, money, and people.